you don't have to have 100% of the information to have the authority or a platform on a subject matter. You know what you know, and you'll never know it all. So just speak what you do know. Now, don't bloviate, don't make shit up, but talk within the authority of your experience. So if you're 19 and you've been a carpenter for 4 summers in a row, you know a little bit about carpentry and that skill set, as opposed to someone who's never done it and walks into the system new and green, right?
Right.
So your age doesn't give you your authority, your experience does. And I put that onto anything.
Right. It's kind of like if you have a degree, you feel like you're already entitled to something, whether you have experience or not.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you? With a degree?
True. No, I mean, it's true.
Don't.
Because it's like, I have a journalism degree focusing on PR and advertising, and I've never
done any PR.
Well, I mean, I have.
Yeah.
But it's been because of my own personal endeavors.
Yeah.
Endeevers.
Yeah.
Endeavors. Dang it.
That's like nails on a chalkboard.
Every episode?
That's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
So, but I mean, I've done PR and advertising. I just haven't worked for someone that wanted me to do it for them.
Yeah.
But I've done it. I've done my own things. I've gained my own experience. I feel like I have authority on it.
Yeah.
But, when coming out of college, it was just a piece of paper.
Yeah.
If I had, for that industry, had I been someone like Haas who just started doing it, and then had a portfolio to go with it, it's like game changer. It's like, boom, here, you can just be creative director. Here
Absolutely.
You go.
So the context of our conversation was the fact that he was kind of talking about how he didn't feel like he had the position. And I said, your experience gives you the position, not your degree, not your, age, et cetera, et cetera. And now that doesn't apply to everything. Of course, there are some fringe things that wouldn't apply to.
Like you have a doctorate degree.
Yeah,
to be a doctor.
if you're going to do heart surgery, you might want to just not practiced on a dozen people.
Yeah,
and if you have, you might want to call someone for help because it's kind of spooky. But so that was the context of what I was saying. Hey, that would be an interesting topic to discuss because so many people. I just talking to a young lady yesterday, or what was it today? She was saying that I just don't feel like I have anything to say. Who would listen to me? I don't really, I'm not good at speaking. I'm like, it's not, there's a difference in flow and being articulate and having, hand motions and all that stuff to go along with it. But the story is the story is the story. I mean, reality TV was a hit because it was just real.
Yeah.
There was no certain kinds of voices and things like that drew you in. It was like, ooh, what's going on?
Have you watched The Bachelorette?
Well,
Do you watch The Bachelorette?
No, dude. I don't watch television at all. Nothing. And if I do, it's how it's made or, what was the Ariel America? We've talked about that one.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
I'd never seen Game of Thrones and all that stuff. And yeah.
What about HGTV? Do you ever have that on?
No. No.
Are you an HGTV hater?
No, I'm not an HGTV hater. It's just not my... First of all, because of my background and my skill set.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a rant for a second.
No, do
you
it.
in your movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so because of my background, a lot of the stuff that happens on there is just like not real world. And there's a crew of people doing it in a white tent off camera, and then it just magically appears, right?
Yeah.
So that's disingenuous. The second thing is some of the budgets that they come up with, like, oh, we're going to remodel this entire house and we're going to paint the whole thing, and your budget's $40,000. So by the time you bought the house plus $40,000, you're going to make $300,000. And I'm like, that's a $290,000 remodel for $40,000. I want to know what your labor costs are. I want to know what material you're buying because I'm buying from the wrong place, right?
Yeah.
It's unrealistic. And I mean, there's been some really popular shows. I won't name any famous females or male companion
They come
people,
from Waco.
but they might be from Texas, somewhere in the middle. Just some of the ridiculous budgets. And maybe it's achievable in that market. It is not achievable in mine nor anyone I've ever been in. And so when I see that stuff on HGTV, I'm like, oh, whatever, So I'm a skeptic. I'm not a viewer.
And then
it's never been fun.
Right. And then you go to some like really nice furniture store and it's like their brand and it's marked up like 800%. And it's like costs more than the house budget did to buy all their furniture.
That's funny. Yeah. So not an HGTV fan in that capacity. I like to watch things that I know nothing about so that I'm drawn into the flow of information, right? So when I'm watching HGTV, I know a lot about building and remodeling and product service and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And it's like being an ex-bartender and waiter going to a restaurant getting poor service and bad drinks. Duh! Same thing.
Yeah.
So no, not an HGTV fan, but
All right. Well, then the next time you watch something, we're going to talk about that. It's not Aerial America, so you just zone out and watch.
Yeah,
America.
No, I
shots.
don't. Now we did see. We talked about me seeing Aladdin with the kids and how great that was, didn't we?
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, because you saw it, but you didn't see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's happened to a couple of people recently. I've had that same conversation with.
You know, there's actually I saw the very end of Medea's family reunion at my girlfriend's house last night. And in the end credits, Tyler Perry calls out people for bringing their baby to a movie. And I was like, this needs to go viral. If it hasn't, it needs to.
That's pretty cool.
Like, the economy's good right now. Hire a babysitter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Some people are still hurting, though, probably.
Well, a babysitter. I mean,
yeah.
People in high school need money to buy Jolly Ranchers.
This coming from a guy who has no children.
Or money. Or money.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. There are some things like that. But if more people, we're going to go deep real quick. If more people worked out a family or household budget and lived within a budget, as my nephew has experienced here recently, those things are afforded because they're named and they're accounted for.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice other things, if need be, for those other perks. And that may be a perk to some people. But without every dollar having a name, which is a Dave Ramsey phrase, then you get confused and things don't really work out, you know? So it's just one of those things that you've got to do.
So I am not an authority on budgets, but you should definitely help the economy and hire a babysitter.
Hire a babysitter. Put it in your budget. If you don't have a budget, don't work on one. Don't believe in them. Think that they're restrictive, not free. Please DM me and I will change your thinking on that and I will help you see the light because it's the only way to operate. It's the only way to really, move forward and advance the ball in your personal finance, in the matters of finance.
Oh, man. So then the last week, I kind of got some depression.
Oh, no.
Well, I just started thinking about this, and my girlfriend's dad had some great piece of advice all the time, but he was talking to someone and gave them advice of, just take $150 out of every paycheck. So I added up how long I've been in my previous employer.
Oh, no. Oh, no. You did the reverse math and threw up in your mouth.
$40,000.
Oh, God.
Right now I'd have $40,000.
Oh, see what happens when you're paying attention? I think I've said that before. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm 46, almost 47 here in a few weeks. If I were to do the same thing and go back to my teens when I started working at 15, 16, it's game-changing money. It's life-changing money, But
$150 a week.
Now, it's probably even more than that. Had you taken that $150 and locked it away in an IRA or something.
Right.
Which I do
have.
It might have been 75 or 80 grand. You're even more sick to your stomach. I know. See, the problem is we talked about this early on and we talk about it and we beat the drum all the time. It's $50. It's $50. It's $50. And if you never start because you always say, oh, it's just $50, then you never have the 40 grand.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere. And that's the biggest problem with a lot of people. They're put out, maybe they don't have the greatest job. Maybe they don't have the greatest relationship. Maybe they just feel like they're down and out and that $50 or $25, whatever it is, just doesn't matter. It does matter. It matters. It matters. It matters. And so, we're going to keep beating that drum around here for sure.
Hashtag all bucks matter.
Hashtag all bucks matter. I like that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of hashtags, we're just going to kind of ping pong around here for a minute. I'm surprised how many hashtags that I go to type in have not actually been used on certain platforms.
I wouldn't use those.
No, I get it because you're like, unless you're kind of trying to start a movement.
Right, right. All lives matter.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff. And so if I was thinking about that, it's like, I guess it makes sense that a random assembling of words with no punctuation may end up or not being a hashtag, but it's like sometimes when I'm posting something, I try to pull out some of the words that are contextual to the post and make a hashtag out of it. And it's like, oh, that's been used one time in 2014. You're like, whoa, what? You know? And then some of them, it's funny, you type it in and you like, okay, well, I want to see what's behind that hashtag before I actually put it on mine because it could be some, negligible content or something that wasn't like you wanted to be associated with. And so I'll go search the first, 20 or 50 sometimes when I'm questioning it. I mean, debt free, hashtag debt free. I don't need to research that one.
Right.
But some of the ones I've come up with and I'm like, that's interesting. Nobody's used that, or it's been used. I'm like, whoa, that's not what I thought it would be. You know? It's like, no, we're not using that one. Delete. We don't use them that often in posting. I try to just maybe plug one into a post and not every post, and not on every platform.
Yes,
because I think that sometimes you just get tired of scrolling through the mindless numbing of hashtags. But so that was something that popped up last week or this week. Just curiosity about the use of them and how many there were still available that had never actually been used.
Well, and I think one thing people have to look at is how many followers, because you can see how many people are following a certain hashtag.
Yeah.
Like improv comedy. I'll follow hashtag improv comedy.
Yeah.
You follow hashtag debt free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can see how many people are following those. So that's a good one to use.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was just my little 2 cents on authority.
No,
there you go.
Some people don't know what you just said.
Exactly.
And so your age has no bearing on it.
No.
It's your experience. And your experience is, hey, I've gotten good return on my investment from using that hashtag. I've been reached out to people from XYZ country or state or city. And so, it's paid dividends. So that's the kind of stuff that's interesting to pay attention to. And, again, circle back to the original thought, your authority comes from your experience on a matter. And that really is kind of a challenge that goes out to a lot of people who are wanting to start a podcast. There's nothing wrong. What do you know? What do you want to talk about?
Find a good-looking host who has no money and is going to go through a layoff while you're doing a career podcast.
Right. That's right. Can you believe that? I mean, it's like, how serendipitous is that?
Are we writing this?
Is this real? This could be fake. I mean, just how, and in all seriousness, how serendipitous is that?
Right.
That a year and a half ago we started talking about this kind of exchange, and then it moved into more of just a off camera kind of chat, and then you came to me this year and was like, hey, let's do this, and here's what we're going to do, and then all this good content comes out of the shit you're living.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like so I'm like salivating week to week going, what's going to screw up next week?
Hashtag I'm a screw up.
That's a great hashtag. Yeah. No, but it's been fun, and so I think that I think coming in and talking about this stuff and encouraging people to move on and do their thing, it's where the rubber really meets the road for me, because I just want people to get out there and do it. Believe me, I had my inhibitions about doing it as well. I was nervous. What are people going to say? We joke in the office when we get some hate comments. Like, oh my God, that's pretty hardcore. But then I get 53 nice ones for every one hate one. And it's like, who cares?
See what you did there. Hashtag 53, giving me a shout out.
Bam. That was subliminal.
Good. That was good. Hashtag 53. Hashtag bootlicker for hate.
It's hashtag bootlicking grandpa. That's what it was. Something like that. Anyway.
You're probably I want to see how many grandpas out there have a man bun. It's probably you and Willie Nelson. Actually, you're not a grandpa, so it's just Willie Nelson.
I'm not a grandpa. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to wear it down in Willie braids, though, and everybody's going to see the podcast and be like, "Oh my God!"
And then you can hold one of those guitars. Which, by the way, we need to do a follow up.
Because
last podcast, we were talking about the guitars a little bit.
Yes, we were, and we talked about didn't we talk about the auction and everything and how beneficial it was to the American Cancer Society?
No, let's time travel.
Let's go backwards. Okay, so let me jump back 30 seconds and just say that back to the encouraging part. Don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from doing something. You want to do a podcast? Do it. You want to start a blog? Do it. You want to go out on your own and do your own thing? Do it. One life, one shot, one chance, and everything. Jump forward a couple of seconds past that thought that I didn't get to finish about the hashtag bootlicking grandpa. There's no doubt that what I do as an entrepreneur in my space is very similar to some other entrepreneurs. And that reference was some hater out there spitting some content about, this guy's not original. He's just a bootlicking grandpa of some other famous person that I'm not going to name because I don't want to draw attention to that. But it's my story. It's my life. I'm doing my thing. And if there's similarities, so be it. Mm-hmm. Tough shit. Get over it. You don't like it? Hit delete. You don't like it? Block. You don't like it? Too bad. So it's no big deal to me. I'm pretty thick skinned, so that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. And thankfully, because I'd be over in a corner sucking my thumb, like Jim Carrey and Seabass, that scene. But anyway, the guitar. I'm a passion for music. I have a passion for playing guitar. Been playing for years, but never really knew what I was doing. When I say that, I say I've not been a proficient musician who understood the technical theory behind what I was doing with my hands, right? Mm-hmm. Melodies, I get it. Harmonies, I get it. Singing, that kind of stuff. Writing music, no. Chord charts, okay. But really just never felt like I was a musician.
Right.
I am becoming a musician. Yeah. So I'm taking what I had in my past 20s through 40s, private guitar lessons, and I'm diving deep into that and executing on that because it's something that's passionate to me. Because the flip side of that is we launched a custom build guitar company earlier this year. And I'm doing that with not a close family member, a distant family member in another state, another town. Shout out to Cincy. Basically, we're building custom guitars so that I can live out and fulfill a part of my 40-year plan, a part of my dream to become the person that I want to become and live the life I want to live, right? I'm doing my thing. So the first guitar that rolled off of the production line was what we call, we're doing like different series and different kinds of builds based on the talent of my nephews, the family member, and the design that I like in the colors and the selections and the tone, and that kind of stuff. We're doing that together. So I'm kind of the eye and the visual, and he's the technical, and it really is a good marriage of ideas. And we're just scratching the surface. We've barely gotten started. But all that said, the first one rolled off the line. It was great. When I say off the line, I mean off of his workbench, literally. We're posting stuff on Signature Guitars, at Signature Guitars on Instagram, posting some little stuff on there about it. But, I did it to have fun. I'm doing it for other great reasons as well that are personal to me. But we donated the first guitar to the American Cancer Society through the Tyler Cattle Barons Gala, which is right here in our hometown. And they're held all over the country. But this particular one, we felt like we needed to do that, like I said, for various personal reasons. And they put it up for auction. And during the online auction portion, it was getting no love for whatever reason. That people were looking at it going, wow, that's really cool, but nobody was bidding. And so we knew what kind of potential it had, and the people that were hosting and coordinating the event knew what kind of potential it had. So they took it off of the online auction, took it to the stage, where Mark Chestnut was going to be performing in a little while after the auction. By the way, Mark Chestnut signed it, and so we were really happy about that. That was pretty cool. That was a perk for the end user, not for me, obviously.
Right.
But it ended up going on auction when it wasn't intended to on the live part of the auction, and it was bid up to $4,000. And so blew my mind, and I was just completely elated. It raised a bunch of money for cancer. And so we were super pumped about that. And that won't be the last time that we do something like that. I think there was a little birth of something long-term there that we can play with and be, generous with. And so that's not a pat on the back to me. That's just something that I thought was a really cool way to instead of just writing a check, do something unique and fun.
Right.
And so I got to play the guitar before, the whole event, like a couple of days before. It was in the office here, and I plugged it in and played it a little bit. It was a beautiful tone. I mean, just really, it was almost like, oh, did I really give this away? For a minute.
And I guess this is kind of a teaser. I'm sure there's going to be footage of this coming out soon.
Yeah.
And footage of the Cattle Barons Gala. I attended. Yeah. You won't believe it because you won't see me in any of this footage.
Oh, no, you'll see him for sure.
Oh, okay, good. Hi.
But yeah, there's going to be some footage of that. On the media company side of things, we're doing all those kinds of things as well, going to special functions that we're involved with and pulling out content from that. So yeah, there'll be some stuff coming up. But this will be the first kind of public announcement about it coming out on this podcast that anything was done and how it went down. But over the next 2 to 4, 6 weeks, we'll start dropping little pieces of it. So yeah,
sweet. I guess it's if everyone wants to follow, it's Signature Guitars
at Signature Guitars on Instagram only right now. And then there's a website, but it's not anything we're pushing. Really, it's just to get the attention from Instagram. And it's not, again, a company that we're trying to push to the top of the of the market of guitars. I mean, it's a very competitive market. We don't expect to garner any market share for any particular reason. It's just one of those things that I said, hey, I'm into it. Let's do it.
Right.
I mean, for goodness sake, I may end up with a reader's eyeglass company at some point because I go through these things like hard candy. You know, at my age, it's ridiculous. So anyway.
I can see you doing the ones that you don't even have to put around your ear because they just balance on your nose so well.
Just balance right here. That'd be pretty cool.
It's like almost contact. It's like a hybrid of a contact and a glasses.
Well, you know what was some people are like, well, he can just do whatever he wants because he's got money. No, because I budgeted and I worked hard. That's why I can do the things that I want to do. But
I think you should do LASIK, but get them to laser in your logo in your eyes.
Oh my! But the fun part about it, and if you're a creative and you're hearing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We designed the logo. We designed the look of the guitar. We designed the hang tag label and the certificate of authenticity and how was the serial number going to look and what was the tag going to, you know?
Yeah.
All of that nuanced, hardcore work over the last 3 or 4 months, putting all the pieces together, looking at designs, approving designs in the mix of all the real estate transactions and all the other things that we have going on. But it was a blast.
Well, and that's kind of the cool thing. Kind of be on the outside looking in. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this line of guitars, and it wasn't because you were trying to make money off of it. It's because you love guitars and you wanted to have your own guitar, that you custom built, and
that's it.
That's it. I mean, same thing. Someone that wants to have a custom car or custom computer.
That's it. Yeah,
you know, it's just you can say that's yours. You put that together, and now you're seeing it, you know, go to a good cause.
And because I am a carpenter who's crafty and creative with my hands and have done that for years. There will be a time when I do get into the wood shop with my nephew, and I actually get to physically build one with him, and that'll take several trips because it is in Cincinnati,
right?
You know, it's not in Texas.
Well, if you actually want to build something, I still need help getting the shelf on the wall,
dude. Don't even start about shelves on walls. My wife will jump through this camera and microphone and choke you.
Will she do it?
No. It's a big thing about, you know, they say a builder's home is never complete. A carpenter's shelf is never hung. It's kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
so technically I'm like
the table. The table leg never gets fixed in the carpenter's home because he's always out busy making a living. Never has time for the house projects.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
nice.
I'm not your guy for shelf hanging.
All right, cool.
But we need to get him a number, on get him a guy that can hang the shelf in a brick wall for him.
Yeah.
It's not as difficult as you think.
It's actually just pure concrete.
Yeah, solid concrete wall. It's okay. We can drill into it. Or not we. Sorry, I'm not doing it. See, I have the propensity to just jump in and like save the day. So yeah, with the guitars, that's awesome. We're going to have fun with that. And I can't wait till the next one gets here. It'll be probably within the month. It's a completely different series. So yeah, dude. So all that design work and all the fun that goes into it and the marketing side of it and all that it's like painting a portrait. You know? Building a company to me is like a work of art.
Right.
It's like painting a portrait. It's like me with the little palette doing this, mixing the crimson and the white to get the off-white color or the pink or whatever. It's the same thing to me when I'm like label, logo, website, graphic. Dude, it's just, for me, that's just where it's at.
Yeah.
So when I think about all the other Endeevers that I want to do. Sorry, I had to poke you.
No, I probably won't ever get it wrong now.
Yeah, it's right.
Beaver. Like a beaver.
So it's actually Endeevers. I was joking.
Dang it.
You just said it wrong, trying to say it correctly.
This is why you should not always listen to every authority that you have.
I mispronounced it as a joke, and he took that as
thought he was being serious.
Yeah.
So you should always find a mentor that you could wholeheartedly believe and trust.
Or stand up against and push up against the wall when he's wrong.
Without a shelf.
Without the wall without a shelf. Here we go.
We're off. So you have a lot of other endeavors going on.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And you're rocking 88.
Oh, man. I just came out of an 88 realty meeting, and so I'm rocking the shirt.
And your name tag.
And I've got my CEO, got my name tag on.
I've got my SrVerde, it says SC Greene.
So
put on your readers.
Yeah, here's my glasses. Yeah, we got one of these little shirts. This stands for, we're kind of, artsy and fun. So this is commercial real estate, this is land, and this is residential. So it's kind of our way of saying hey, and then a little shout out on the back with the, phone number and all that stuff. So
and on the sleeve.
Oh yeah. I'm big on sleeves.
Yeah, sleeves are good. I like them, especially if if you work
if you
out.
got some horseshoes there, then putting something on the sleeve to accentuate that.
Yeah.
What are you doing? He just like slid down under the table. Oh my! I'm not sure what's going on down there. But yeah, so all the other Endeevers having fun with that.
Hashtag bootlicker.
Hashtag. We just lost it. It's you got the red face going on over here. Focus. Anyway, God Almighty, I think I'm gonna go change shirts and have a glass of wine, and we'll do another one. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right. Well, anyway, lots of other stuff coming. Glad to know that things are moving and shaking for you. I want to hear more about what's going on with you, and we'll jump into that probably in another episode here very, very, very soon.
I think next week we can knock out a ton.
I think so. Yeah, cool. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
Well, my dad always used to say, we go back home and visit. He said, thank you for coming. Thank you for leaving.
Adios.
Yeah, just say it. Way of saying, your time is up.
I'm just glad you got to see me. That's what my dad always says.
Yeah, I kind of say that sometimes too. That's very
I'm not going to call you dad.
No, please don't. Please don't. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Bye.